Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2019 Subaru Outback. This particular one has that 3.6 liter flat six, but let's just get right into the video. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to Mark Miller Subaru for providing us with the vehicle today. And again, just like always, here's all their inventory. They've got a ton of selection to choose from. But let's just get right into it. So popping under the hood of the 2019 Subaru Outback, this is their flat six or H6, same type of motor, but it is good for 256 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. That is through a continuously variable transmission, also known as a CVT, and that will be good for 20 miles per gallon around town, 27 on the highway, and then a combined of 22 with this motor. They do offer a 4-cylinder engine option as well, and that obviously is going to get you better fuel economy numbers, but you are going to lose a little bit of power for going to that option. If we look around front, again, we have Subaru's signature LED headlamps with their projector bulbs right there, and then you have the fog lamps down below as well. And then their signature grille with the Subaru logo up front, and then the nice chrome accents all around. And then you can see down here is really sturdy because obviously being an Outback, this is supposed to be able to be very capable on the off-road. And so you've got to have that so it's sturdy down there. Going around to the side, you can see these are 18-inch rims. And again, kind of finished in that polished, it's more like a polished aluminum look on these, but it does match very well with the nice chrome on the front. And then you can see the two-tone on the mirrors as well, and then that nice chrome strip down the side of the car. Hopping around back, we can see the 3.6R badge, since this does have the flat six motor in it. And then you can see the parking sensors are nicely integrated into the bumper. It's going to come with a backup camera as well. And then here's the key fob for it. Subaru's upgraded key fob that comes with keyless entry, but if you just hold this button down, that'll open up the lift gate. And then as you can see back here, again, with most of the Subarus, you get the 2 sets of mats, rubber mats, as well as the cloth mats. And since this is a touring edition, they've got touring on those particular mats. You get a nice cargo cover back here as well, and then a nice rubber floor mat for the trunk compartment as well. And then you can fold down those seats if you need a little bit of extra storage back here. Now, popping around back, we can come inside, and this one, I like the spec on it a lot actually, because the white with the brown contrast inside, but you can see the nice wood trim inside with the leather bolsters and contrast stitching. Nice to put your arms right there, and there's plenty of legroom back here. You get some nice heated seats back here, some power outlets as well, and this one is optioned out with a sunroof, but there's plenty of room for passengers in the back here. Little armrest that pulls out for cup holders and all that, but overall the back seat is a very nice place to be. Now, popping around front, we do have Subaru's keyless entry system, so one touch to lock it, and then to unlock it you just have to put your hand on the back of the door. And again, you're going to see more of this nice wood trim with the leather bolsters and then leather door panel as well with contrast stitching. Here are all of your controls for the windows and mirrors, door locks. Memory seat controls are on the side of the door right there. You have your power adjustments for the seats right there. You get a nice little Subaru logo. And this one comes with the Harman Kardon sound system. It's a very premium sound system. Sounds absolutely fantastic. And then you can see here, you have memory function on the tailgate, which is something that I think is really neat. So you can set it to lock at different intervals, basically, if you don't want it to be fully open. You've got your lane departure assistance, blind spot monitoring system, and then your forward collision warning. You can all turn that stuff off via those switches right there. Stepping in here, step and height's really nice, this being an SUV. You can see all the controls for the center stack right here, as well as the radio phone controls as well. All your controls for the cruise control, heated steering wheel button right there, and then you have your nice paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel as well. Now, to start up the Outback, all you have to do is just put your foot on the brake, push the push start button, and then it will start right up. Let's turn down the climate control so you can actually hear me. You can see the traditional gauges right here with the tachometer and the speedometer, and then you get a digital cluster in the center that obviously will show you miles on the car, and then it'll give you real-time fuel economy. It'll give you pretty much every bit of information that you could want on the vehicle. Coming over here to the center stack here, we can see Subaru's new touchscreen system, and I've gone over this in the other videos, but it is very, very quick to respond with everything. It's basically like an iPad essentially, so everything just happens instantaneous, and it gives you every bit of information you could want with it. Obviously Bluetooth, radio, all that kind of stuff you can use through here, but then I do love that Subaru still gives you some solid kind of button like things to touch on it, so that not everything is fully integrated into the touchscreen, which I personally really like. And then you get a CD player up above, dual zone climate on this since this is a touring edition, so those are the both right there. And then you have your heated seats, which I'm going to turn off because it's a little bit hot. And those are your analog climate controls right there. This is your shifter. You do have a manual mode, and that's what those paddle shifters are used for right there. Your parking brake, and then you have an X mode right here, which is kind of like an off-road mode right there. Obviously 2 cup holders here, and then you get more stitching on the dash. Glove box right here, which I'll open with the owner's manual, more wood trim as well. You can see the seats up front, a little bit more bolstered to keep you in place, which is nice. And then you obviously do get a center console here with leather padding to put your arms. You can see you got plenty of storage space, more charging stations in there, and then you can see under here you have a bunch of charging stations as well. Up top you have the sunroof right here, and you can see the roof rack right through there as well. A lot of these Subarus will come with a roof rack, which is really nice. You don't have to add one in after the fact. And obviously your light controls in the interior as well. We pop the vehicle into reverse. You can see the backup camera pops up. If you turn the steering wheel, you can see the trajectory lines will turn as well, just like in all the other Subarus. Great backup camera system, and obviously the parking sensors as well make it super easy to park this vehicle. So we're setting off here in the 2019 Subaru Outback, and just like the other SUV offerings that Subaru has, this is obviously, if you love the symmetrical all-wheel drive system that Subaru has, so you're gonna not have to worry about any sort of off-road terrain or, you know, all-weather terrain at all, just because the system's gonna be so safe. And then on top of that, this, because it is an SUV, has the higher ground clearance, so you can take it off-road as well if you need a little bit more ground clearance compared to the sedans that they offer, or the hatchbacks as well. And the other really nice thing about the Outback is obviously the space. It's got tons of storage space. You know, there's I mean, as you can see, there's tons of trunk. There's more than enough trunk space, and then obviously you have a ton of room for the rear passengers as well. And so, if you do need to haul around a little bit more stuff, then this would be the better option to go for. You know, in terms of the Subaru lineup, just because of the extra space. Obviously, they do have their new third-row SUV, the Ascent, if you need even more space on top of that. And then in terms of ride quality, it drives very, very smooth. Obviously, and that's something that is very characteristic of all the Subarus that I've noticed, is they just all have this very smooth driving feel, and so, you know, bumps and undulations in the road, they don't really upset the vehicle at all, and so it just drives really, really smooth overall. And then obviously another key factor, something that's really important, is the safety tech in these. They've got tons of safety tech. You know, you have the adaptive cruise control system, you have the blind spot monitoring, and, you know, the forward collision warning and the lane departure assistance, and just all this safety tech that you can get with these. And like I've said in prior videos, they make a lot of it standard. Obviously some of the stuff is optional equipment on the vehicles, but most of the safety tech is actually standard with certain packages that you get through Subaru, and so you don't have to pay extra to get that extra safety stuff, which is a really, really nice offering from Subaru. We are going to go on to the interstate just to get a little bit of a highway run to see how it performs and drives on the interstate, and then obviously acceleration as well. Since this is the 3.6 liter, it is going to be a little bit peppier obviously than the 4-cylinder that they offer, since, you know, obviously it's got a lot more horsepower. But in terms of getting up to highway speeds, no trouble at all. It accelerates perfectly. There's no issues with getting up to highway speeds. Now, I think that the question that a lot of people are going to have is, you know, do you go for the 4-cylinder or do you go for the 6-cylinder? And, you know, I think that's going to basically come down to your driving style, right? If, you know, you're more of a, you know, I guess I would say passive type driver where you're not in, you know, a huge rush and you don't feel like you need to floor it all the time, right? Go for the 4-cylinder, because obviously you're going to save money because it's a lower cost option on the vehicle, and you're also going to save money on fuel because it's going to get a little bit better fuel economy than the 6-cylinder. But, you know, if you're a little bit of a race car driver and you want more power, go for the flat 6. You're not going to be disappointed at all. You're going to love it. But just remember that you are going to be visiting the pump a little bit more when you go for the flat 6 versus the flat 4. And then to touch on ride quality again, super smooth. Even on our beat up interstates here in Utah, that just, I mean, they're always doing construction on them for a reason. It just glides over the roads very smoothly, no problem at all. So to sum things up overall, you know, why you would go for the Outback is, you know, the biggest thing is that you just need more space. You need a little bit more cargo space. Maybe you have passengers in the vehicle more often, so you need a little bit more rear seat room, rear leg room as well. And then on top of that, the extra ground clearance. And then obviously Subaru is always great to go after because of how safe they are in the snow with that symmetrical all-wheel drive system that they have. And so I think that if you're already in that situation where you want an SUV because you want more ground clearance, you just want to be a little bit higher off the ground, so you kind of know that this is the route that you want to go, really I think the only decision that you have to make is, you know, whether or not you want to get a little bit better fuel economy with a smaller motor, or, you know, a little bit more power with this bigger flat 6. And so that's really the biggest decision. Then obviously if you want, you know, a little bit more loaded up with the interior like this Touring Edition, or if you don't really need all those bells and whistles. And that's the great thing about Subaru, is they offer both of those options, and so you can kind of get exactly what you're looking for. And there we have it, everyone, the all-new 2019 Subaru Outback. Thank you so much for watching. If you are stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought, leave a like if you liked the video, and then big shout out and thank you to Mark Miller Subaru for providing us with the vehicle today. But I will see all of you in that next video.